My uncle, Arthur, was a man of unwavering principles. He believed in fairness, honesty, and above all, doing the right thing, no matter the cost. He ran a small, independent hardware store in our town, a place that reeked of sawdust and oil, a far cry from the shiny, sterile aisles of the big box retailers that were slowly swallowing up businesses like his. He wasn't making a fortune, but he was respected. He knew his customers by name, remembered their projects, and always offered honest advice, even if it meant selling them a less expensive option. He lived frugally, reinvested everything he could back into the store, and was content. Until Apex Corp came to town. Apex Corp was a behemoth. They built a massive distribution center just outside of town, promising hundreds of jobs and a huge boost to the local economy. Initially, everyone was excited. The town council bent over backward to accommodate them, offering tax breaks and zoning waivers without a second thought. Arthur, however, was wary. His concerns were confirmed when Apex started approaching local businesses, offering to buy them out. Their strategy was simple. Offer an initial sum that seemed generous, but pressure them into accepting quickly, before they had a chance to assess the true value of their business. Most small business owners, tempted by the apparent windfall, jumped at the offer. Arthur refused. Apex didn't take kindly to rejection. They didn't immediately resort to underhanded tactics, not at first. They started by opening an in-house supply store for their distribution center, cutting into Arthur's bulk sales to local contractors. He felt the pinch, but he adapted, focusing on providing specialized service and hard-to-find items that Apex couldn't offer. Then came the real pressure. Apex started a smear campaign. Anonymous flyers appeared around town, claiming that Arthur's hardware store was overpriced, that his products were inferior, and that he was exploiting the community. They spread rumors that he was polluting the local water supply, completely fabricated, of course, and that he was about to go bankrupt, leaving his employees high and dry. The rumors took their toll. Customers started avoiding the store. Suppliers became hesitant to extend credit. Arthur's profits plummeted. He fought back the only way he knew how, with honesty. He put up signs refuting the allegations, organized community events, and even offered discounts. But Apex's deep pockets and ruthless tactics were too much to overcome. One day, Arthur received a formal letter from Apex's legal team. They claimed that his store was encroaching on their property line and demanded that he demolish a section of his building, the section that housed his main warehouse. They offered him a pittance to cover the demolition costs, an offer he refused with a fiery speech about corporate greed and the importance of standing up for what's right. That's when things escalated. One night, a fire broke out in Arthur's warehouse. It was ruled an accident, faulty wiring, the official report stated. But everyone knew it wasn't. The fire destroyed a significant portion of his inventory and crippled his business even further. Arthur was devastated, but he refused to give up. He started rebuilding, using his own savings and loans from friends and family. Apex, however, wasn't finished. They approached the town council again, this time with a generous offer to build a new community center on the land currently occupied by Arthur's hardware store. The council, eager to appease Apex and score some political points, voted overwhelmingly in favor of the project. Arthur was served with an eviction notice. He was given 30 days to vacate the premises. He fought it in court, but Apex's lawyers were too powerful. The judge, likely influenced by Apex's deep pockets and their promise of economic development, ruled in their favor. Arthur was broken. He had lost his business, his reputation, and a lifetime of hard work. He was forced to sell his house and move into a small apartment. He was a shadow of his former self, a man defeated by corporate greed and political corruption. I was furious. I couldn't stand to see my uncle, a man who had always done the right thing, be treated so unfairly. I decided to do something about it. I had been working as a software engineer for a major cybersecurity firm. I had access to skills and resources that most people could only dream of. I decided to use them to expose Apex Corp for what they truly were. I started by digging into Apex's corporate records. It took weeks, working late into the night, but I eventually uncovered a treasure trove of information. I found evidence of illegal dumping, tax evasion, and bribery. I even discovered that the fire at Arthur's warehouse had been deliberately set by Apex employees. I compiled all the evidence into a detailed report and sent it to every news outlet I could find. I also anonymously leaked the information to several government agencies, including the EPA and the IRS. The response was immediate and overwhelming. The news media went into a frenzy. Apex Corp was plastered across every newspaper and television screen. Their stock price plummeted. The government agencies launched investigations into their illegal activities. The town council members who had sided with Apex were facing intense scrutiny. Several were forced to resign. The community center project was put on hold indefinitely. But the real bombshell came when the arson investigation into the warehouse fire was reopened. The Apex employees responsible were arrested and charged with multiple felonies. They eventually confessed, implicating several high-ranking executives in the conspiracy. Apex Corp was brought to its knees. Their reputation was ruined, their finances were in shambles, and their executives were facing criminal charges. The distribution center was eventually shut down, and the company was forced to pay millions of dollars in fines and restitution. Arthur, initially reluctant to believe that his nephew could pull off such a feat, was overjoyed. He received numerous apologies from former customers and suppliers. He even received a significant settlement from Apex, enough to start a new business. He decided to open a smaller hardware store, focusing on providing high-quality tools and expert advice. This time, however, he was smarter. He formed a co-op with other small business owners in the area, creating a united front against corporate giants like Apex. The town, once blindly enamored with Apex's promises, had learned a valuable lesson. They realized that true prosperity came not from corporate handouts, but from supporting local businesses and standing up for what's right. Arthur became a local hero. He was hailed as a champion of small businesses and a symbol of resistance against corporate greed. He even received an award from the state government for his contributions to the community. But for me, the greatest reward was seeing my uncle happy and fulfilled again. He had lost everything, but he had never lost his principles. And in the end, it was those principles that saved him. The experience taught me a valuable lesson as well. It showed me that even the most powerful corporations can be brought down by the truth. And that sometimes, the only way to fight injustice is to fight fire with fire, using their own weapons against them. Of course, what I did was incredibly risky, and I could have faced serious consequences if I had been caught. But I knew that I couldn't stand by and watch my uncle be destroyed by a corrupt corporation. I had to do something, anything, to help him. Looking back, I don't regret a single thing. I would do it all again in a heartbeat. Because in the end, the price of principles is always worth paying. And the revenge, well, the revenge was just the icing on the cake. It was the vindication, the sweet taste of justice after years of watching a good man suffer. It was the proof that even David could slay Goliath, given the right tools and a whole lot of determination.